This is the story of Joshua Peter Lanto, a sovereign citizen who has actively stalked me across state lines. This is not what you would call a normal KFARR video. This is going to be some backstory about this nonsensical guy named Broken System, Broken Trust. So, the YouTube journey for me started in 2020, 2021. Can't remember, it's been so long. And almost immediately, this guy was in my comment section, spouting sovereign citizen nonsense. And it's almost like he was trying to sway me over to the sovereign citizen side. But the problem was, I have the ability to read, so I kind of saw through that and knew the sovereign citizen movement was garbage at best. It was a loose grouping of already convicted criminals trying to find a way to word salad their way out of responsibility or consequences for their actions. Almost immediately, that kind of set him off, and the last straw for him was when I believe his sister came out of the woodwork because she was facing something similar from him, where she was being harassed by him, some would even say stalked, for doing nothing other than being a good sister. I would talk about a certain topic that I might bring up later in the video, but I'm trying not to, but it kind of, his brain seemed kind of cooked once I found out he was kicked out of the Marines for meth use. From his stories that he's told on his channel and other channels, he decided to get senioritis in the Marines, so he decided to do a shit ton of meth. Got caught doing meth. They decided to give him a court-martial, and on the way to court-martial, he got caught underage drinking at the gate, so they're like, okay, bye. So he was separated in lieu of trial by court-martial. This guy's an absolute shit stain on society, and it doesn't stop there. So I was going to jump into his criminal history Andre Sloan style, but I decided since it was Halloween, less than a week ago, I would talk to you guys why my children are not allowed to go trick-or-treating anymore, and it is 1000% on the shoulders of Broken System, Broken Trust. So, a few years ago, Broken System, Broken Trust made comment that he was going to bring 3, 4, 5, 6 frauditors to come audit my children while they were trick-or-treating. At that time, he made comments as I was talking to his, I want to say his ex-girlfriend, who shockingly came out of the woodwork to tell her side of the story, tell her victim story about Broken System, Broken Trust. He said that he was going to stop by his ex-girlfriend's house because it's closer than where I live, and something about a witch on a broomstick, whatever, Halloween reference. And then he made comment that he was going to have those, I'm trying to read this and it's kind of small, have fun trick-or-treating, let's get a good look at those costumes, which was, in my opinion, a shot at him coming to fraud at my children during Halloween. And then he made a live stream, yep, it was 3 years ago, trick-or-treat live in Livonia, because at the time I lived in Livonia. This was directly after he made the comments that he was going to come fraud at my children. At the time, that would have been a very bad call. My friends are a very diverse group of people. I think we had 5 or 6 law enforcement officers show up to just hang out while we were walking the kids around. I had other friends show up who had their concealed carry. They were walking with us. So it would have been a bad time for a bunch of convicted criminals to try to mess with underage children. And shockingly, this isn't the first time BSBT has made threats to my children. I'll jump to that right now. So over the last, 4 years, 3 years, whatever, he has made some very odd comments about my underage children. This is 2 screenshots. One is from my comment section a few years ago. One is from the comment section of a live stream that I was doing with his brother-in-law, another victim of BSBT, and keeping it criminal. Kick, if you will. Shout out to Kick. But I'm going to read this first nonsensical thing here. So Josh is claiming that he's working on some video that's going to take the credibility away from the watchdog community. The debunker community, the anti-frauditor community, whatever you want to call us. He says he's going to work on a video to do that. Still waiting on that video 3 years later. He says, did you see what Vegas Valley did to Dr. Dave? That shit was funny. He sent a, in my opinion, mentally ill man to go make threats to Dr. Dave, which is unacceptable. Then he made the comment, "We're going to do the same to you, KFARR. Somebody will dox the hell out of you. That's what's gonna be funny. I may just do an audit of your kid's school or your neighborhood or your formal place of employment. I am mobile and have nothing better to do." Okay, and then he said, "I will audit your school," talking about me in this live stream. And then he made the unfortunate comment. Let me see here if I can find it. Yes, right here. I didn't say where they went to school. I've intentionally not streamed at their school. And then he named their school and said, "Here I come." So I had to let law enforcement know that he said all of these things. One of his friends at the time actually had a conviction for going into, I believe it was a special education school, special education building. Got trespassed. It was in the news. It was a whole thing. But this is the personal shit that I've had with BSBT. All because I don't agree with the sovereign citizen movement. I don't agree with breaking the law and then looking for every single way to get out of it, except for taking responsibility for his actions. And now we're going to get into a bunch of his criminal history, and it's a doozy. So we're just going to start with this one because I just picked an arbitrary spot to start. And this is going to be, I'm going to let you guys read it. I'm just going to flat out let you guys read it. But I'm going to point something out for you. This pled nolo contendere, he tends to do that a lot. If you guys don't know what that means, it's a plea by which a defendant in a criminal prosecution accepts the conviction as though it's a guilty plea, but does not admit guilt. And this isn't the first time you're going to see that, or this is the first time you're going to see this on his record, but not the last time, because this is something that he enjoys doing. He wants to say, "Oh, sure, okay, but I don't take responsibility for doing it." Anyway, guilty is guilty. I'm trying to keep this professional. I'm not going to read this for you guys because I trust the fact that you can see Joshua Peter Lanto, you can recognize the charges, go to the disposition, and see what it was, see the sentence, see the remarks. I just want to point out domestic violence, found guilty. All this nonsense, pled guilty. Pled guilty. There's so many of them at this point. And this is the guy telling me that I'm a bad person. This is the guy stalking me and then saying that I'm a bad person.
Oh, do it! On the bike, man! You got warrants still with us? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know anymore. Did you take care of them? Did you take care of them? What? She had me back there 10 times, man. I don't know if she's, got one or you don't know if you have one or not. I'm riding a bike, man. I'm not driving. I understand that. That doesn't matter. Why doesn't it matter? Why are you in White Lake? I thought you were living up north. Or well, no? You see, my sister is trying to, get revenge on me. Okay. So she'll call you guys all the time. She'll try to make a crime that I'm doing, right? I got you. Right? Am I doing a crime today? No.
Pause it real quick.
If you're...
I got to tell you, Josh, you look so much worse than you have over the last year or so. You look like that crazy homeless guy that stole the vaccines a while back that was living out of his SUV. And, it's not a good look, bud. And yes, you are doing something illegal. You have warrants.
Well, he looks like he hangs out with Jeremiah.
Him and Sam Squatch?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, friends, I'm finally making an appearance in this video. That was from a clip from 2 years ago. I think it was Dummy Kruger, Frauditor Troll, Kick, myself, and Josh's actual sister. We watched the body cam of him getting arrested on warrants outside of a liquor store that's in front of a really, 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 really shitty motel in White Lake. Yeah, we'll leave it at that, but this case was an expired license case. You saw file date 03/17/2022, close date 08/21/2023. So he was on the run for quite a while there, and it was over a expired license, which takes 3 seconds to remedy. but because he's a sovereign citizen, he simply did not want to. Now, they finally got him on that date. I believe they kept him in custody until he went to court. It was a great time, honestly, while he was in jail. It was great. Nobody was stalking me. Nobody was threatening to harm my children. It was a good time. But you can see right here, plea of nolo contendere, because he's guilty. He just doesn't want to say he's guilty. That would pop the whole sovereign citizen bubble. His whole narrative would come crashing down around him. But this is the guy we're dealing with. We still have more, but I finally had a video clip, so I decided to show that. This is the last, I think, court thing that I'm going to talk about for Josh. He has a bunch of child custody stuff because, shocker, a sovereign citizen doesn't have custody of any of his kids. I believe baby mama 2 has custody of one and his sister has custody of the other because he's, again, a shit stain on society. But we're going to talk about this last one. This is the 23rd District Court in Taylor that he is currently on the run from. Yes, the guy who calls me a bad person is currently running from a warrant. Same shit, different day. This was the case where he's bragging, oh, I got a charge dismissed in Taylor. He actually was on a Zoom. They said, yeah, we're going to dismiss this charge. Later in the live stream, they were talking with the judge, said, yeah, we're dismissing that one charge because we plan on bringing 3 tomorrow or the next day. And then as soon as the system updated, he got hit with 1, 2, and 3. So having one charge dismissed just for them to bring 3 more isn't exactly the win Josh thinks. He's been fucking with this Officer Borg guy for the longest time, which is absolutely disgusting because, again, Josh is an absolute stain on society. He also decided he was going to brag, oh, I'm going to win. I have the Taylor court on the ropes because he got a change of judge, because in someone's chat, he actually said he was going to drop bombs on the judge that he was currently going against or on the court. So they gave him, instead of that judge, they said, okay, you can now deal with the chief judge. She scheduled it for a jury trial. On the day of the jury trial, I was there watching, live streaming court, because we all wanted to see this guy get locked up, and shocker, he never showed up. Judge Shackelford got more and more and more upset that he didn't show up because, again, he was talking so much shit. Turns out he actually fled the state. On the day of his jury trial, he fled the state. So, like any good judge, issued a bench warrant, and he is currently still running from that bench warrant. We're going to talk for a second here before I move on to something else, but he is running from this bench warrant. From my experience dealing with the warrant process system, you have a distance from Taylor that the Taylor police are willing to pick up. I believe that's going to be 25 or 50 miles because it's 3 counts of interference with police authority. So it's probably like 50 miles, which I believe where he currently is not inside 50 miles. They've actually arrested him before, called them, and they're like, no, that's not. I think it was actually election day that they picked him up, called, and it was in the middle of like shift change in the morning where all the polls were open, and they're like, yeah, not at this time. We don't have an officer to spare. So they said, advised and release. We did it all the time where I worked. Hey, you have a warrant out of this city. It's for this much money. They'll pick up this distance. Here's your charges. Take care of it, which is normally turn yourself in, contact the court. Sometimes when you contact the court in that manner, they will just say, cool, you have a new court date of this day. We'll take your warrant away. Show up. He still has not. Let me see what day they put out this warrant. This warrant was issued, I'm going to have to assume, since it's on the event day of 3/22/2024. He has been running from this warrant for more than a year. Almost, if we blink a couple more times, it might hit 2 years. So this guy is absolutely, he's got a big mouth. He doesn't know what he's talking about legally. And again, he's such a pussy, he's still running from this warrant.
To bring him over here. I didn't know where I was
Josh,
going.
you're a bitch. You're a bad dad.
And guys, this is where we're going to end the video. That's the last 2 things I added on there just to tie this video up in a nice bow for you guys. The first part, I called him a stalker. He has stalked me to 2 different locations in 2 different states across state lines. the video was him coming to my first home. I believe he brought another convicted criminal. They came to make threats, slander me in front of my neighbors. Turns out my neighbors didn't buy it and told them to go away and that they're the problem. Shocker. People with common sense seeing the situation for what it is. The thumbnail that I posted on the top right, if you want to go back, is BSBT was actually in my city because his friend was arrested here not long ago. He actually came to my home, left something on the porch, but then the dipshit decided he was going to wear the exact same hat that he wore to my home in every video and live stream he did in my city. It's kind of disgusting that people can't take responsibility for their actions. I've not broken the law. I have not harassed anyone. I know a few people, and by a few people, I mean people who are doxing me on a daily basis, it seems like. They're saying I'm bullying BSBT. Not once have I gone to this guy's home. Not that he has one anyway. He lives hotel to motel to people's cars to people's couches. So he has no real home. I've never gone to his place of business. I've never harassed his family. If anything, I'm better to his family than he is. Just throwing that out there. Feel free to reel that back in. But yeah, if you can honestly, with a straight face, say that I'm bullying BSBT while he's actively coming to my home, threatening my children, threatening to go audit their school, threatening to come with other frauditors to audit them trick-or-treating. If you think I'm the bad person in this situation, you should probably fucking fix yourself. But that's the video. Thank you, everyone, for stopping by. This was a weird one, I know, but people like this nonsense. But have a good rest of your day, guys. Peace.